The last thing that we'll talk about in terms of perimeter is how to do problems where they're describing a picture and you have to kind of figure that out to find, in this case, the length and the width of the side, okay? And so we're going to get right into examples so you can see how it works. So number one, it says the length of a rectangle is 4 times the width. It tells you the perimeter is 90 centimeters, so that, remember, perimeter is the length around it. So when they measured the length around that rectangle, it ended up being 90 centimeters. And then you have to find what the actual length and width is, okay? So anytime they're describing a picture, you want to draw it. So it says that you got a rectangle, so draw yourself a rectangle. Doesn't have to be pretty. And then you're going to start labeling it. So it says the length of the rectangle is 4 times the width. Okay, so that means if you take whatever the length of the width is and you multiply it times 4, you'll have what the length is, okay? So usually in the rectangle, the longer side is the length. So like this would be the length, this would be the width, okay? And so they're telling you that the length is 4 times what the width is. So you could write the length is equal to 4 times the width, okay? And so that's the way to write that. And then the width, well, that means you have to know what the width is. So that would be the width, okay? And so that's kind of just writing it out for you. A lot of times you'll see when I draw the picture, I will probably just put that the length is 4 times the width, and then the width is W, okay? And so either way is fine. Just make sure that you realize that this is the length, okay? So then from there, so that's labeling it. It says the perimeter is 90 centimeters. So in other words, when you add up all those sides, it should equal 90 centimeters, okay? So how do we find the length and the width? Well, we just set up a little equation. So if I add up all the sides, think about, it should equal 90. So that's what I'm going to do. And remember, a rectangle, the opposite sides are equal in length. So if that one's 4 times the width, then this side will be the same thing. And then this and this side will be the same length, okay? So I'm going to add up all of these, and it should equal 90, so I'm going to set it equal to 90. So again, you can start wherever you want. I'm going to start with that side, so I'm going to add them up. So W plus 4W plus W plus my 4W, so make sure you add up all the sides. It should equal 90, okay? So then I combine like terms. All of these are like terms. So we've got 1 plus 4W, or 1W plus 4W, that's 5. Plus another W, that's 6. And then plus 4 more, that would be 10. So that would be 10W equals, and then I bring down my 90. And then from there I have to solve for my W, which remember W is your width. So you have to divide by 10 on both sides. That'll go away. So my width is equal to 90 divided by 10 is 9. And remember, that's a length, and so you have to put the units with it. So the width would be 9 centimeters. So that's the width, okay? So the width equals 9 centimeters. So now we have to find the length. If you go back over here and you remember what we talked about with the length, you have to take 4 times the width to get the length, kind of like that formula we wrote down here. So to find the length, we take 4 times, well, the width was 9 centimeters. So 4 times 9 is 36. So 36 centimeters would be the length. So then I'm going to go up here, I'm going to label that. That would be 36 centimeters. Okay. So we're going to just practice this a couple more times so you can see how that works with other problems, and then we'll do one that's a little different, all right? So this one, it says the length of a rectangle is 7 inches greater. That means you're adding greater than the width. Okay, so I'm going to draw my rectangle. So it's still describing it based on the width. So you have your width. And then it says that the length is equal to 7 inches greater than the width. So that means I have to add 7 to the width to be able to get my length. So I'm going to take my width and I'm going to add 7, and that will get me my length. All right. So, and again, it's telling me my perimeter. So remember, you just add up all the sides, and that will give you or it's supposed to equal the perimeter. Okay, so same thing as before. My opposite sides are equal, so this one would be W plus 7. That one would be W, so I'm going to add them all up. So W plus 7. So those are those two sides, plus you keep adding up all your sides. So notice I'm adding up all my sides. When I add them up, it should equal, in this case, 114. Okay, so same thing as before. I'm going to combine like terms. So we've got W plus W plus W plus W, which is 4W. And then I have 7 plus 7, which is 14. And then I'm going to bring down my 114. And then I keep solving. So I have to solve this equation. So subtract 14. That goes away. And then my 4W comes down. 114 minus 14 is 100. And then I have to divide by 4 because I'm multiplying by 4 right now. And then 100 divided by 4 is 25. Okay, and notice when we're looking at our units, it's in inches, so that would be 25 inches. And remember, W is the width, so the width of that is 25 inches. So you'd put width equals 25 inches. And then how do I find the length? We'll go back over here. Remember, it says to find the length, you have to take the width and add 7. So to find the length, I have to take 25 plus 7. Okay, so 25 plus 7 ends up being 32 inches. So there we go. All right, the next one. The next one says the length of a rectangle is 6 meters less than twice the width. Okay, well, it's describing a rectangle again, so I'm going to draw my rectangle. And so it's basing it on the width again. So we've got our width, and then we've got 6 meters less than twice the width. So we have to do a couple things. Number one, 6 meters less than means that we have to subtract 6, but we have to subtract 6 at the end. So like that, if it says less than something, that means you're subtracting 6 at the end. And then it says it's less than twice the width. So twice the width means that we're taking the width and multiplying it by 2. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. And then just like the other problems, they give us the perimeter. So that means we're going to add up all the sides and equal it to that number. Okay, so again, label all my sides. The opposite sides are equal. So notice I just label the opposite sides the same as what it's opposite of. And then we add them up. So we got W plus 2W minus 6 plus W, I'm just going around my circle here, plus 2W minus 6. I added up all my sides, and it should equal 312. Okay, combine like terms. So 1 plus 2 is 3, plus another 1W is 4, plus another 2 is 6W. So I just combined all my W terms. And then I've got negative 6 minus 6, which is 12, and then my 312 comes down, or equals 312. Okay, then I solve for my width, so I have to add 12. So then these will go away. So then I end up with 6W equals, when I add these, I get 324, and then I have to divide both sides by 6. And so let me grab, we got 324 divided by 6, you get 54. So your width would equal 54, and then looking at my units, that's in meters. And then all I have to do is find my length. So again, look at how they relate. My length, I have to do 2 times W, which would be 2 times 54, and then I have to subtract 6. So 2 times 54 is 108. Minus 6, you get 102. So the length would be 102 meters.